Happy lunch hour, gang. Okay, still Thursday, and fortunately, so far the day started off nicely. It's Mrs. P got her learner's permit to learn how to drive this morning, so everybody beware, she's going to be on the roads now. And other than that, she's out picking plums, and we'll be pulling beets here, the rest of the beets this afternoon. That's our big game plan. But yeah, in the world of the fleecing of America continues. Our illustrious potato-in-chief, the current resident of the White House, is apparently going to the G7 summit today and going to sign a pledge with Volodymyr Zelensky to commit U.S. funds and equipment to help defend Ukraine for the next 10 years. There's a little caveat in this. Joe doesn't have the authorization to do that. He can do it as your typical executive order type crap, but the next president, who inevitably is not going to be Joe Biden, can cancel this altogether, which is a good thing because, well, we're paying to rebuild the infrastructure of Ukraine. Well, ours is falling apart. Well, we're paying the pension funds of the Ukrainian economy. Ours is falling apart as retirees are losing more and more and more of their spending power. It begs the question, is Joe trying to set himself up for another 10 years of 10% to the big guy? We know now that the Hunter Biden laptop has been proved as authentic and not Russian disinformation, like 51, hopefully soon to be former intelligence operatives said, we can now start proving that Joe is beyond corrupt. And so all the fleecing of the American taxpayer going into Zelensky's pocket and inevitably into Joe's pocket can be stopped by the next president. Now, the fun part is that Joe's going to sign this thing today, and it's not like he's going with checkbook in hand writing it. Okay, it's still got to go through a budget. We still have to come up with where the money's going to come from. Joe's got a slight problem with that. He doesn't control Congress. The Democrats have an even bigger problem with that. If everything is looking like it's going to, the Democrats are going to lose both houses of Congress come November. Okay? Because John Tester from Montana looks like he's on his way out. Jackie Rosen looks like she's on her way out. Sherrod Brown looks like he's on his way out. That flips the Senate, and the Republicans have a pretty easy way of maintaining the House, if not expanding on their lead come fall. And, Trump is trouncing Biden in every battleground state right now. I think Arizona came out this morning, and Trump's now up 8 points. Please tell me how Arizona went blue last time around. Oh, yeah, that's right. And the cheat is on. Okay. So Joe's not going to be able to fund this, but it's going to look great in the eyes of the EU because the United States is now the 15th country, most of the rest from the EU, who have pledged to continue funding Ukraine. Except we have a little other problem there in the EU. They just overwhelmingly kicked the globalists and the liberals out of parliament. So even though the countries may have said, yeah, we're going to do this, considering the people that pledged this are losing their grasp on power, no. So what does it mean? Well, it means what it should have meant 2 years ago. Ukraine's toast. Now, I've said many times, I don't give a shit what happens to Ukraine. That's their own damn problem, okay? If Russia takes them over, oh well, you know what? maybe you should have spent the last 10 years after Crimea beefing up your own security. You failed to do that? Gee, I'm sorry. It's no different than what we do in the United States. If Mexico comes attacking, we're supposed to protect. Oh, wait a minute. We don't do that either. Shit. Yeah, it's right. We have all these people coming across the southern border and we're not doing anything. Oh, why would that be? Oh, because just like Ukraine having a incompetent, corrupt president, we have an incompetent, corrupt president. Now, where does this one go? Watch the playbook, guys. Zelensky is no longer a legitimate leader of Ukraine. Remember, he canceled the elections last month. Okay? We're in a war. We can't change the leadership of the country. You don't think that Joe had a hand in that because Zelensky and Joe are butt buddies? You don't think that's Joe's idea too? They're going to come up with some sort of reason to cancel the election. And I know a boatload of us have talked about this before, that are we going to have elections in November? And I'd say the majority of the people on this channel, at least, and probably in the prepper community, in the conservative community, in the patriot community, are watching with bated breath because we know there's dirty tricks up the Democrats' sleeve. They're going to have a hard time cheating in this election. So the easier way to do it is to cancel it altogether, which of course is going to throw everything into turmoil in the country, but that's an entire different video for a different time. The big key is on Biden trying to give away more of our money to Ukraine, who, again, I remind everybody, is not a member of NATO, is not an ally of the United States. We have no treaties on file with Ukraine whatsoever. Okay? We're just supporting them. However, on the other side, you know, where you have another day of Hezbollah hitting northern Israel with mortar attacks and rocket attacks, Israel is an ally. But Joe's too afraid of upsetting the people in Dearborn, Michigan, that he won't back our greatest ally in the Middle East. He'd rather back the greatest corrupt country in the world, in Ukraine, to send our tax dollars to. Please, somebody, show me one way that this is not Joe trying to pad his pockets. That's exactly what's going on. Hopefully, Joe's kicked out here in a few months, and whoever our next president is takes that and does a Nancy Pelosi to the State of the Union and tears up any sort of further financial aid for Ukraine. And that's pretty much all I have to say on that. Pinball out.